Hello, welcome back to 1000 Week Reich. We are currently on the national focus screen because we have to pick our national focus. Now, I was reading this one and I'm kind of scared by the business as usual one because you have to either acknowledge Hitler's deteriorating health or you have to keep it hidden. And if you acknowledge it, it's going to cause problems later down the line. If you if you don't acknowledge it, it's going to cause problems later down the line. If you do acknowledge it, it's going to cause potentially people to want to jump on the opportunity to enact some sort of coup, maybe. So I'm going to avoid that for a little while. So first, we're going to go with the matters of youth. Hitlerjugend is the largest youth organization in the Reich, teaching discipline, a strong work ethic, and pride in one's nation and race for decades now. But alongside our party, the organization has been left mostly unchanged, which has led to the various maladies typical of lacking modernization. Arthur Axmann, the longtime leader of the Jugend, has recognized these problems and has, what a name, has consulted with his predecessor Baldur von Schirach to discuss the various reforms and budget reallocations to improve the functioning of the Jugend. Alright, well, let's do that one, I suppose. Oh boy, we have a lot of decisions to make. Okay, so this is to prevent resistance movements rising up. So, of course, we would want to do that in the Union State of Norway, because I believe they have an issue with that right now. Yeah, the Norwegian resistance, they've got a party crisis and all that. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to send some to Norway. I don't know who else has issues. Does Denmark have issues? Not really, you know. I'm guessing there's a lot of partisans in the east, right? Uncontrolled corruption, slave state, oof. Ukraine ethnic tensions, Ukrainian serfdom, active resistance, yeah. Maybe we'll send some to Ukraine as well. Oh, we can't. Well, we've sent some to another place. We have to wait, I guess. Oh no, we don't have enough equipment. That's our problem. Let's go over the reforms. Let's do the NSDAP branches. And I'm guessing that takes a little while to activate, or... No, it just happens. I was expecting an event or something, but oh well. Now, speaking of infantry equipment, we are lagging behind because we're reinforcing. That's the problem. And of course, we are building up the production efficiency. Democrats in West Africa. As the hopes of returning to France are diminished, the democratic elements of the French exiles in West Africa believed, there's some like present tense, past tense thing here, believe that the exiles should collaborate closely with the native population, like confusion between present and past tense, in the hopes of creating a new identity that would promise peace and stability for their new homeland. While this dream is far from realized, the victory of a democratic faction means the beginning of this process of transformation from a minority state to a majority state. Sounds good on paper, but what? Is that the French authority or minority state? Yeah. Algerian Republic. Oh my god. Algerian Republic. Okay, there's hey. The Algerian War. With the start of the Moroccan War, any semblance... Wait, it's Moroccan or Algerian? Make up your mind. Any semblance of order within the French overseas possessions of Algeria has been shattered. The Republic of Algeria was declared by the Algerian Liberation Front, an organization notorious for their terrorist activities in pursuit of freedom, securing the majority of the coastal regions, while in the Central Sahara, multiple tribal factions have formed the Council of the Sahara, a coalition built primarily to resist takeover by the French authority of the south. The remaining French forces, under Pied Noir Defense Force, have concentrated themselves in Oran, declaring the Oran Free State with the support of large proportion of French settlers in the region. With reports of skirmishes already coming from the front lines, international observers remain unsure of the potential victor of the conflict. The die are cast. The dice are cast. Die is singular, isn't it? Or am I... No, I might be wrong, yeah. Yeah, I'm actually wrong. Yeah, die is plural. No, wait, no, it's not. No, dice is plural and die is singular. Man, this mod has a lot of like confusions with language like that. U.S. tests hydrogen bomb. In the Eniwetok Atoll in the Pacific Ocean, the United States succeeded in detonating the world's first hydrogen bomb with a yield of over 10 megatons of TNT. The new type of weapon, powered by nuclear fusion rather than fission, exploded with over 600 times the power of the atomic bombs used during the invasion of Japan. Though this current bomb is too large and complex to be used as an actual deployable weapon, it remains a proof of concept, and its sheer destructive power is a testament to American abilities. It is certain that weaponized versions of this new, even more powerful kind of nuclear weapon are under development, and that the other great powers of the world will accelerate their own programs to keep up. Terrifying weapon, yes indeed. Let's go... Let's see the Lebensraum question. Sure, let's do this and then focus on the Austrafin. No doubt the most pertinent question in the minds of many within the government is the official stance on Lebensraum, a core tenet of National Socialism. Lebensraum defines our living space within the vast swaths of land to the east. In our Reichskommissariats, righteous settlers live in the cleansed land of the former Soviet Union. Free to populate the areas that were once tainted with degeneracy and Judeo-Bolshevism. This policy has allowed for us to expand and conquer the weak peoples of Europe and bring our citizens into these virgin lands to erect new cities and reap crops in the name of our Reich. But as of recently, our expansion has stalled due largely to instability that previously plagued us. With the situation improving, perhaps it is time to formally revisit our key policy and its tenets. Soviet Union still lies beyond our borders, no doubt, plotting and conniving to seek its lost lands back. Our opinion on the matter could change the Reich's destiny forever. We mustn't delay. Yes, let us not. They have a lot of troops on the border. No longer get the effects from fake news. Well, that's good. Oh, okay, it's the decision I made. Transvolga. Where are you guys? A gun and a hammer. Paternal autocrats. Never mind, not Pog. I thought they were going to be like anarchists or something. German support. General strike, okay. Just having a look at some of these people who are eating up the underbelly of the Soviets. Britain tests an atomic bomb. Oh no, everyone's getting on. Today, the British government announced that the United Kingdom achieved only the United States and, more recently, Nazi Germany had accomplished: the development and testing of an atomic bomb. With tensions already high between the two powers across the Channel, the development of Britain's own nuclear capabilities is only likely to increase the chance of war re-erupting in Western Europe. In Britain, it is being hailed as a great achievement and a sign of Britain's determination and ability to defend itself from any German aggression. The German government itself has not released any statement, but it is likely that this is worrying news in Germania. Yeah, I'm suitably worried, yeah. Restoration of the Czech exiles. We're just getting bombarded with events. Headquartered in London since the lost Czechoslovak sovereignty, this Czech government in exile has finally returned to Prague. Invited and welcomed by the military commanders of the initial revolt, now led by Jan Masaryk, his restored government has proclaimed their full intentions of reuniting with Slovakia, claiming the entirety of Slovakia as part of Czechoslovakia, hoping to restore the borders of pre-occupation Czechoslovakia. Well, we can't have that. What? Slovak Republic is our puppet, but wait, what's going on here? Oh my god, that's Joseph Tito. But what's going on here? A little bit confused. Decryption and decryption and encryption is always good. German education. Reforming the education system is paramount to encouraging greater achievement. Okay, research bonus for industry, that's good. Oh my god, German military youth recruitable population factor 20%. Yeah. Yes, please. We are losing our fuel now that we are doing so many exercises. But we want the experience. A Lebensraum question. One of the central pillars of National Socialist doctrine and what was once one of the primary motivations for Operation Barbarossa was the acquisition of Lebensraum. The conquest of all the lands until the Urals was envisioned by Hitler to involve two vital components: the destruction of the Slavic nations and the settling of the territory of the German agrarian farmers. The reality is that in the significant post-war economic malaise and the already unappealing territories in the east have yet to appeal to the Volksdeutsche demographics. His lack of colonists has become a significant dilemma for those who sought out the ideological pursuit of colonization across the Reich. While Himmler regards the solution as being worthy of the German veterans, he proposes to expand considerable resources in the expansion of existing Wehrbauer settlements with additional incentives for new arrivals, such as a free KDF wagon. Guessing that's a car. In addition to this, Himmler plans systematic targeting of those who are economically deprived and potentially most open for a new life in the East. Heydrich's critique of Himmler's program was vicious, regarding it as an exuberant waste of resources, which, like all other variants of the existing policy, will result in economic stagnation and severe fiscal depletion. This is his eyes could simply be. This is in his eye. This in what? That is some awkward wording. This, in his eyes, could simply be solved through the forced relocation of young veterans who can occupy the land, organized so the East can be stabilized as soon as possible. However, those within Germania have suggested that Heydrich's plan could cause potentially major internal dissent in the East and decrease the stability of the Reichskommissariats, which would worsen the situation. Free roaming Lebensraum, or we will tell them where they go. I'm gonna go with free roaming Lebensraum. Incentives seems better than causing a bunch of like stirring up dissent in Germany right now when Hitler is sort of on death's door. Let's do the Austrafin. Can we stop exercising some of these people so that we can Oh, Congo rebellion crushed. Belgian Congo colony has always been a semi-unruly state. When the Nazis invaded the Low Countries, the Belgian government was forced to withdraw to the last possession in Africa. Ever since then, the harsh minority rule has led to increasing tensions in the region, which had culminated in open rebellion led by long-standing revolutionary groups in the east of the colony. We saw those earlier. I didn't really acknowledge them. They were like libertarian, socialist, like black revolutionary forces. Against the, of course, majority white, or the white minority government led by the Belgians. Of course, Belgium in Africa is never a recipe for anything good. Despite some initial successes during the early months, full Belgian authority to the Congo has now been finally been restored. Thanks to the extensive support from allied British forces, however, though the rebellion was subdued, the revolutionary organization still persists underground, and with the continuing Belgian minority rule, their support is growing from day to day. Yes, let's have a look at so the Kingdom of Belgium. Belgian government in exile. Okay, nothing all that interesting. Facade democracy. Yeah, it's nothing all that interesting there. Free Central African states has capitulated. Don't know where that was. If that was these guys. Treaty of Dhaka. Socialist Republic of Bengal has capitulated. So all the socialists are getting their cheeks clapped. Austrafin starts. The Austrafin, held in Danzig, is a conference between Germania and the Reichskommissariats, hosted by Albert Speer. This conference seeks to discuss Germanization, economic and military policies in these territories and decide on a final solution that can bring all these lands together to finish building Greater Germany. To Danzig we go. Hold up. Allow me just to grab some research here. We have oil right now, but I don't know how long that's gonna last. Also, let's go atomic research. While the Führer is not able to attend the Austrafin, the Minister of Propaganda Joseph Goebbels represented the Führer and held a grand speech in his honor. Goebbels stated that the prosperity of German people must be achieved through strong cooperation with the will of the frontier settlers. And the will. Clarifying the role of the Reichskommissariats for the continued prosperity of Greater Germany and unity amongst all Aryan people in the world. The start of the Austrafin truly shows the glory of Germany to the world. Thank you, Goebbels. Very cool. Matters of the Eastern War, Soviet border question. Ooh, that one might be spooky, because that might actually bring us into a war with the Soviet Union. Let's do handling the political situation first. Let's grab an industrial contractor, if we can. I think Krupp is like a really good all-purpose one. Or we could go with Reichswerke Hermann Göring, I think. Those are the two ones we want to go for. But I'm not sure which one. I mean, we could go for two of them, actually, I think. Because we have two industrial contractor spots. Yeah, let's go Göring first, actually. Bruh. Tungsten trade with the Kingdom of Sweden was terminated, the rubber trade with British Malaya was terminated. Did Göring just fuck us? Oh yeah, because extra consumer goods factories, yeah. Yeah, that's unfortunate. The highway, oh my god. Havyand, that's misspelled. The Havyand Comet debuts. Isn't the Comet meant to be a jet fighter, not an airliner? At London Heathrow Airport, a commercial aircraft accelerates along the runway, an increasingly common sight before taking off on its journey towards Johannesburg, South Africa. However, this flight is anything but ordinary, as the familiar drone of propellers is replaced by the roar of jet engines. After a long and costly development and testing period, the British decided the Havyand Comet, the world's first jet airliner, has taken off on its first commercial flight. Undoubtedly, this is a great achievement for Britain and helps propel its civil aviation capabilities into a new jet era ahead of any other country, but competition will inevitably follow. Industry and military of the East. While the Austrafin seeks to discuss both industry and military under the directive from the Führer, Albert Speer seeks to integrate both subjects into one. The conference verified the importance of the war economy in the Reichskommissariats and their part on securing the outskirts of Greater Germany, and how they play a continued significant role in the German military economy as a whole. Add one off-map military factory, that seems really powerful. I don't think I've seen that very often in mods. Third Spanish Republic, what's up? The recent death of Francisco Franco and the murder of a young Republican student were seemingly enough for the Spanish people to rise up against a weakened dictatorship, as Carrero Blanco, the second Caudillo of Spain, has stepped down after the relentless pressure from the military for a nationwide anti-Marxist campaign. With him out of the picture, Adolfo Suarez, a major figurehead of the student movement in Spain and the main figure of the current negotiations, has been appointed as a temporary head of the state of Spain. While the new liberal order of Spain reorganizes itself into functional democracy, the current Republican government in exile has already congratulated the new government. However, the rest of the world look with weary eyes as this drastic shift will not go unchallenged. Guessing he's gonna get yeeted soon? Embrace the American doctrine. Hey, aren't you meant to be dead? Come on. Go on. Get lost. What's going on here? Oh boy, we've got a lot to read. The structure of the NSDAP and the German government has been needing some reconsideration, considering the current difficulty in handling all of the new territory, both east and west. This of course calls for the Führer to take charge. The party has been having great difficulties with maintaining stability in certain parts of the Eastern Reichskommissariats, and the internal politics of the party is getting more and more sectarian. This can be seen with the development of underground blocks in opposition to the policies of Adolf Hitler, with various rival National Socialist blocs seeking alternative approaches. The Führer must decide: intervene and try to maintain unity, or to take a more relaxed approach and see how things develop. Do we want rival blocs? Sure, it could be funny. Germanization status. The main task of the Reichskommissariats is to Germanize the new lands. The Austrafin urged all the Reichskommissariats to speed up the Germanization and settlement project and expand the Aryan race throughout Europa. After delegates made their statements, the Germanization effort was reaffirmed, and the Reichskommissariats promised to start joint operations on Germanization. For Deutschland, that's a lot of manpower, and the trading policies, Reichskommissariats such as Ukraine have rich resources that can supply the Aryan people. Germania demands the Reichskommissariats extract and export extra resources to the Reich and fuel the German economic machine. The delegates from the Reichskommissariats have sworn their loyalty and promised Germania their resources will be put to good use for the Aryan race. Resources as well, more oil. Would have expected bread, but alright. Question of the old guards, sure. Can't read all of it, sadly. Resources for the Reich, thank you. Yeah, we can do some of these again. The League of German Girls serve an important part in shaping the Reich's future. Their task is to provide the greatest Aryan children for the National Socialist cause, and we can achieve this by providing the League with more funding and perhaps hold a few more camps to encourage Aryan boys and girls to interact with each other. It's kind of weird. Expand Adolf Hitler schools. Jugendkommandaten. I think I'm gonna finish the reforms first. The debate. With the allowance of the Führer himself, the party will now decide on which direction Germany should head towards for the upcoming months. Okay, so we get focuses, I guess, or a chance of failure. Industrial focus, okay. Against German industrial drive, which grants production efficiency cap, production efficiency growth for 40 days. Only 40 days, but that's fine. It is going to help. It's going to help quite a lot, actually. French African Confederation. What? As mandate of the recently elected regime of French West Africa, the attempts at mending relationships between the French and the natives have evolved to the formation of an entirely new nation, proclaiming the formation of the French African Confederation. However, the newly formed confederation is already facing a number of problems. With widespread discrimination and constant problems between French and African groups, French communities are reportedly frightened by the idea of legislative action from the natives, and multiple native groups are now planning their separation with their newfound freedom. Time will tell if the ideals of the confederation will survive or if their naivety will destroy them. That is a kind of cool flag, actually. Unstable confederation, the limbo exiles, yeah. Okay, Russia, I'm not gonna say that, has capitulated. An Indian faction, I'm assuming, yeah, to the Republic of India. And we have a lot of research decisions to make. Let's get the improved computing machine. I do kind of want to get helicopters. I don't know what they're really used for. Just seems cool. And anything else we need here? Engineering company, always a safe bet. Apologies if I, oh my god, apologies if I sound in any way, shape or form low energy. I played D&D last night, so my voice is a little bit worn out. Having wreaked havoc first in the north and then after the march southwards in the south of India for years, the right-wing Hindu nationalist organization and militia, okay, that's the one we saw, has finally been totally defeated by a recent offensive by the Indian army. Cool. Labour wins UK election. Prime Minister Clement Attlee certainly made a gamble in calling a general election, and it appears to have paid off. The Labour Party have successfully won back their majority, and Clement Attlee has met with the Queen to be asked to form a new government. However, uncertainty still surrounds a long-time Labour leader, and a renewed mandate is not going to make them disappear. The party has continued division over issues such as economic and foreign affairs. It is left to Mr. Attlee to unite the party and prevent it falling into disrepute. Can this new Attlee ministry survive the test of history? Only time shall tell. A lot of Labour people really love Clement Attlee. I don't know a lot about him at all, so couldn't tell you why that is. First Labour government in history. Wasn't he also the first Labour Prime Minister in history, but he was a PM after. Like, Churchill would still be PM right now. He was a PM after that. I might not be correct on that, but like he's a PM earlier in this one, this mod. Matters of the Old Guard. The Old Guard have been there since the birth of the NSDAP regime and some of the formation of the party itself. They are respected and influential members of the party, but their views are outdated compared to the thousands of newer members. These old elites refuse to accept that they are falling from grace, resisting any form of change, and while Hitler respects these elements, they serve as a great barrier for any sort of reform to happen. Advisors suggest that we should limit the influence of members of the Old Guard, but would it be better if we keep things unchanged? I think it is time for the Old Guard to change. I'm sure there's someone there out there who's like screaming like, oh my god, you're making the perfect decisions for XYZ outcomes. Like you're are you trying to get a civil war or whatever? Are you trying to break the country or whatever? I don't really know. I'm just making decisions on the fly. I haven't seen anything about the paths in which this country can go, but I mean, I know there's a possibility for a civil war, and I also know that there's a guarantee that Adolf Hitler will die. Centuries of methamphetamine abuse will do that to you. I said centuries. Adolf Hitler isn't that old as far as I know, at least. My bad. I meant to say decades. Matters of the Eastern War or the Nazi constitution. So there's a problem with dictatorships. The lack of a constitution or the lack of a manner or like a plan for how power should be passed on. The lack of like an organized, normal form of succession creates a lot of issues for dictatorships. Whenever the strong leader who has everything under control dies, so does the regime, usually. Sadeh declares Greater Syria. Antoun Sadeh, leader of and dictator of the Axis-backed Middle Eastern regime in Syria, has declared that the dream of Greater Syria will be realized, including through force of arms if necessary. Okay. Alright. The Middle East's Hitler? Question mark? No idea who that guy is. The game isn't intent on telling me either. Iraq and Jordan unite to the United Arab Kingdoms. Huh. Two Hashemite kingdoms of Iraq and Jordan have finally agreed on the terms of their unification into the United Arab Kingdoms, also known as the Arab Federation or Arab Union. Kind of like a weird UAE, but like in a different place. United Arab Emirates is what I mean by that. It has been hailed by both monarchs as a move towards Arab unity and as well as a move to defend both nations against outside threats. Cool. Well, that being said, we are at the end of the episode, so I want to say thank you so much for watching. Any information you might want is usually in the description down below, or in the flashcards that showed up every now and then in the episode. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.